Hello everybody, welcome to Skish, and today we're reviewing the final episode number 12 of Makeine, Too Many Losing Heroines. So this episode I thought was really good, like the 11 previous episodes behind it. This one almost felt like a recap, and not in the sense of a normal recap, not where they go over past stuff and you're just kind of rewatching things. It was more of a recap in a sense of bringing all the characters that we met throughout the show in one episode and getting to see them one final time before the show comes to a close. So it was nice to see everybody kind of get one more shot in the limelight before we call it close on Makeine. So without further ado, let's get right into the episode. I like how the episode opens up as it's almost like a callback to where this whole story began, right on the stairs of the school eating lunch to where the whole saga of Makeine really starts. But instead of Yanami talking about getting dumped this time, we find that it is her trying to devise this plan to fake having a boyfriend for social media because there's rumors going around that she's single and she doesn't want that. She wants to look like she's popular, has a boyfriend. She's the cool person in school. So they devise this plan, or talk about devising a plan, to get Yanami a fake social media boyfriend. So that brings us to the club room again, another shout out to where things really started going off. And the whole literature club's here trying to decide on how to make this plan really work because they want to make it look realistic and not too childish. And Yanami comes up with this plan to give her this adult, mature, older than her looking boyfriend. So they're all in this club room trying to decide, writing on the whiteboard. You know it's serious when you bring in a whiteboard, on how to get the most realistic fake boyfriend for Yanami. So for the next couple minutes, nothing really super important happens here. We just get introduced to some of the older characters. They're making another comeback here, like Sensei here, one of my favorites, rambling about not having a boyfriend or a husband. We see the girl and boy couple that Yanami lost to. We see the one zombie looking girl planted some stuff in the garden, and Nukumizu thought she murdered someone and then she was going to murder him and whatnot. Big misunderstanding, shenanigans ensues, things like that. And one part about this in particular, I forget her name on the left here. She points out the fact that there are 4 bows, and for the first time, the 4 bows are brought up in the show. And I found that very impressive, that this minor detail that sticks out like a sore thumb was forgotten about for 11 episodes, and then they finally brought it up on the very last episode. I don't know why they did that, but I like that they did it that way because it's like gaslighting us until the very end pretty much. So the most significant person to come out of this is the nurse, because she gives Nukumizu tickets to an amusement park, and that is where pretty much he decides that this big date plan, fake a date, is gonna go. She also makes like a whole bunch of sexual innuendos like she has throughout the whole show pretty much. But yeah, she gives him tickets to an amusement park, and that's pretty much where the episode takes us next. So the crew rolls up to the amusement park, and some of them have questions, like it doesn't really seem like a mature date that some guy who's older than Yanami would take her to. It seems sort of childish in a way, but they come up with these elaborate plans and scenarios where it might not be as it seems. And Komari recommends rides at first, so they each get like a recommendation on what to do at the park. Komari's first to bat, and she recommends rides. And I didn't know this in Japan, but apparently you need to pay separately to ride the rides, which is separate admission from the actual entrance to the park, which I don't think we have in America. I've never been to an amusement park where they do that. So I found that very odd, but it makes sense because a guy's got to have money to take her on a date. What costs more money? Riding roller coasters. So boom, check mark 1 on this mature date, fake a date. And throughout the show, Yanami's like having people take pictures of her, or she's taking pictures of certain things to make it look as if boyfriend took them herself, and giving this monologue of what they did and whatnot, kind of trying to give as much backstory on this fake person as she possibly can. And Lemon-chan's idea is to go to the museum. They have like some dinosaur skeletons and exhibits going on about old stuff way back in millions and millions of years ago. And again, we have another little silly picture here. I thought it was funny that they took a picture of Nukumizu, and she pretty much said, she's like, I'm just going to edit your whole face out of it because that would throw it away. But I'm going to keep the picture. Nukumizu doesn't really look like an adult, so I don't really get why you'd keep the picture in the first place and go through all the trouble of editing it when you don't really even need the picture in the first place. So I found that kind of odd, but I feel like there's an ulterior motive to it. So Nukumizu's big plan is to go get food because you need to spend money to get food. So therefore, he's homeboy probably has money, this fake guy. And she throughout this, she keeps coming up with a deeper and deeper backstory. Like, almost digging a deeper hole for a lie that hopefully she could dig herself out of. Apparently, this guy works at a foreign company. He makes a lot of money. He's a big business executive, makes foreign trade. He lives in America. They're long distance and whatnot. And the lies just continue to snowball. And eventually, they're probably going to come crashing down. And crashing down they do come when her whole plan is foiled because she sees people at school. And if they see Yanami there, they're going to be like, you don't have a boyfriend. You were with Nukamizu in the squad. Also, this is the most grotesque sounding scene in the whole entire show. They make it so visceral. The Foley artist really went to town with this particular scene. And just knowing Makeine, I believe in episode like 3 or 4, when she comes down the stairs, or somewhere in the middle of the show where pink-haired girl comes down the stairs and falls on Nukamizu, they hired someone to animate her boobs just for that particular scene. So Makeine spares no expense when it comes to making things very visceral and the highest of quality that they could possibly do. This Foley effect just goes to show that, again, they spare no expenses. And we get shown a little scene with Nukamizu's sister in the garden area with her friend, and apparently she has like a tracker on Nukamizu's phone where she can see like all the information on his phone. She can see like through his camera pretty much, and she's like freaking out because access got denied or whatever. I don't even know how she did that. You should never doubt the brother-sister bond that Nukamizu and his little sister have, right? So the final scene of the episode revolves around this Ferris wheel. And it's Nukamizu and Yanami in one of the gondola things. I forget what those are called. Whatever. They're together in the same area. And they're just talking. And he's pretty much kind of almost spouting his true feelings out. Not necessarily confessing to her, but maybe you shouldn't rush things. Maybe this whole thing is just a bad idea. Maybe you should just wait for love to naturally happen and come to you. He's like, you're popular, you're pretty. Like, you can get a boyfriend whenever you want in like a real way. You don't have to fake having one just to impress people or just to show them that you're popular and whatnot. And we see the scene through the binoculars of the nurse, who is, of course, at the amusement park spying on everybody like she usually does. And it looks like Yanami and Nukamizu are kissing. I don't think that's what happens, judging by Nukamizu's reaction post this event, but we can see and start to see the foundations of something more than just a friendship going on here. Like, it's pretty much telling us, hey, this is the direction things are probably gonna take. So the episode ends with the gang all in one gondola together, and they sort of assume something happened between Nukamizu and Yanami, and they're trying to get him to spill the beans, and like, we don't really know exactly what happened because the thing went down. We weren't in the gondola with them, so we really don't know what happened. But again, we could probably assume some things were said. That's what I'm assuming. I'm gonna guess that some things were said that were heavier of a topic than what Nukamizu and Yanami usually talk about. So in the sense that getting to the direction of being more than friends in a way is sort of roundabout way of doing things, I guess. And at the very end of the episode, right before the credits roll, they're all in the gondola, and Yanami drops this like almost like flirtatious line to Nukamizu, and then fade to black, cut to credits. And then that is the end of the episode. That's the end of Makeine season 1. Hopefully we get a season 2. I know I mentioned in another video where we basically were confirmed. I was probably just getting too excited and said that, but I haven't seen anything, as someone brought up in the comments before, of any confirmation of season 2. But that's the end of the Makeine saga, the 12 episodes, the amazing out of the blue underdog anime that came up swinging full force. So like I said, well, there's no season 2 announcement, but I'm really hoping we get one soon, especially with it ending. They like to do that after the season ends, typically, to say something. Hopefully we get one really soon, because there's so many questions at this point. There's a lot of stuff that happened right at the end of the episode that we need answers to, and we need them soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this 12 episode long saga of reviews and stuff. It's my first time really reviewing an anime, a seasonal one, episode by episode every week, and I had a lot of fun doing it, kind of breaking it down and paying more attention to the show. I found it made me pay more attention to the minor details in the show as opposed to just kind of watching it and absorbing the content and hoping it sticks. So that's the end of today's episode, guys. If you found anything interesting, informative, and you want to leave a comment down below, what did you think of Makeine as a series? And let me know in the comments down below. We'll see you guys on the next one. We are Skish.